I would like to explain about material assessing writing. Before I start to explain, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Iqbal Ardiansyah with student number A1B2032, and the first about assessing writing. What is assessing writing? It's the process of evaluating a student's ability to express ideas through written language. In writing assessment, teachers look at several important aspects like such as organization, grammar, vocabulary, and meaning. Organization is how tell ideas are arranged and connected in the text, and grammar is the correct use of language rules such as sentence structure and verb forms. And vocabulary is the range and accuracy of words used by the writer. And the last is meaning, how clearly the writer communicates ideas and messages to the reader. And then genres of writing. What is the genres of writing? Writing can be divided into several genres depending on its purpose and context. And the first one is academic writing. This type of writing is used in educational settings such as school and universities. And the second is job-related writing. This writing is used in professional or workplace context. Like example include emails, business, letters and reports or proposal and memos. And the last is about personal writing. Personal writing is informal and expresses personal thoughts, feelings, or experiences. Example like include diaries, personal letters, blogs, and others. So, move the next points is types of writing performance. Type of writing performance is refers to different levels of writing ability that learners demonstrate during learning. The first is imitative writing. This is the most basic level of writing. Students practice writing letters like words and simple sentence correctly. The second is intensive writing. At this level, students practice writing short sentences with correct grammar and vocabulary. The third is responsive writing. In this stage, students write short paragraphs or responses to question, prompt, or task. And last is extensive writing. This is a more advanced level where students produce longer pieces of writing such as essay, stories, report, and the focus is on developing ideas, organizing content.
Okay, now we move to the next slide, designing assessment task, imitative writing. Imitative writing is the most basic level of writing assessment, where students practice copying letters, word, or simple sentence. The goal is to help students learn spelling, punctuation, and basic writing forms. The first is copying. So the students copy words or sentence exactly. For example, like a teacher writes, the dog is sleeping. Student copy the sentence correctly. This helps student practice spelling and punctuation. And then the second is listening clues task. Student listen to a sentence and fill in the missing word. For example, see blah 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 to school every day. So the answer is C goes to the school every day. This helps students connect listening and writing skills. And then the third is picture cue task. Students look at the picture and write a simple sentence about that picture. For example, we put a picture of a boy playing football. So a student can write like this: the boy is playing football. Write the simple sentence about that picture. This helps students connect visual understanding with writing. And then the fourth is a form completion task. Students fill in simple forms. Example, name, age, city, and many more. So this helps students practice practical writing skills. And then the fifth, converting numbers and abbreviations into words. For example, like a doctor, we can write it with DR, with a DR. Doctor is a DR. And then 7, we can write it 7, not in 7. So this helps students recognize and write a language form correctly. Okay, I think that's all from my part. In slide macro, and then this slide 2 about designing So now I will go to the next presenters. Bye-bye.
So, today we will discuss how a teacher designed writing assessment tasks, especially into types of writing: responsive writing and extensive writing. Responsive writing is a short writing process in response to something read or heard, like one paragraph. And extensive writing, longer and more complex writing, example, make an essay or report. And for the next slide, I will explain about designing assessment tasks, responsive and extensive writing. And they have many text types. And first, paraphrasing. Students will read text in their own words without changing the original meaning. So the goal is to test whether students truly understand the content, not just copy it. Example, teacher gives a paragraph about climate change, and then students will write it using different words and sentence structure but keep the same message. The second, guide question and answer. Students write response based on specific guiding questions provided by the teacher. This method, it helps students who are still developing their writing ability. Example, teacher asks, what is the main problem discussed in the text? How does the author suggest solving it? And then, student answer in full, organized sentences or paragraph. And the third, paragraph construction text. Students are asked to build a complete and well-structured paragraph from a given topic or set of ideas. And then this text directly assesses students' understanding of paragraph structure, which includes topic sentences to state the main idea, supporting sentences to explain or give evidence for the main idea, and concluding sentences to wrap up the paragraph. For example, students are given the topic, the importance of reading. And then they must organize their ideas and write a coherent, logical paragraph with clear structure. Fourth, strategic options. This refers to giving students flexible writing strategy as support before or during the writing process. The goal is to be this insighting and help students. Two common strategic options include 1. Reading from an outline. 2. Using a model text. Students study an example of good writing first, then use it as a reference when writing independently. The slide 2, it is scoring methods for responsive and extensive writing. After designing writing tasks, we need to know how to score them. There are three main scoring methods in responsive and extensive writing. First, holistic scoring. The teacher reads the entire piece of writing and assigns one single score based on the overall impression. This method is fast and practical, making it ideal when a teacher has a large number of papers to grade. However, the downside is that it doesn't tell students specifically what they did well or what they need to improve. Example, teacher reads a student's essay, give a score of 80 because of writing is generally clear and well organized, even though there are a few minor grammar mistakes. Second, primary trait scoring. The teacher evaluates the rating by focusing only on one specific trait or skills that is most relevant to the task proposed. This method is used when the teacher wants to assess one particular competency at a time. And it makes the scoring more targeted and consistent because the criteria are narrow and clear. For example, if the task is to write a persuasive essay, and then the teacher only scores how convincing and well-argued the writing is. Third, analytic scoring, the most comprehensive and detailed scoring method. The teacher evaluates rating based on multiple spirit components, each with its own score and weight. And weight common components include content, are the ideas relevant, developed, and accurate? Organization, is the writing logically structured and easy to follow? Vocabulary, does the student use a range of appropriate words? And grammar, are the sentences grammatically correct? Mechanics, are spelling, punctuation, and capitalization used correctly?
Okay, so on this slide, we can see three main scoring methods for responsive and extensive writing. So these methods are used to evaluate longer pieces of writing, such as paragraphs, essays, or compositions. So the first one is holistic scoring. So the first method is holistic scoring. And holistic scoring, the teacher gives one overall score for the entire piece of writing. The teacher evaluates the text as a whole by considering the general quality of the writing. The method is faster, practical for larger classes, and useful for placement or general evaluation. However, it does not provide a detailed feedback about specific weaknesses. And the second one is primary trait scoring. So in this method, the teacher focuses on main feature or trait that is most important for the task. For example, if the task is writing a persuasive essay, the main focus might be argument strength. And if the task is writing instructions, the focus might be clarity of steps. And this method helps teacher evaluate whether students successfully achieve the main purpose of the writing tasks. And the third one is analytic scoring. In analytic scoring, the teacher evaluates several aspects of writing separately, such as grammar, vocabulary, organization, content, and mechanics. So each category receives its own score. And this method provides more detailed feedback, but it takes more time to score. Alright, next slide is assessing the initial stage of the writing process. So, at the early stage of writing, before we start writing, assessment focuses more on ideas and meaning, not on small grammatical errors. So, the goal at this stage is to help students develop their ideas and improve their drafts. So, teachers should focus on the main idea and organization of the text, give comments on the clarity of the introduction and ideas, and also ignore minor grammar or vocabulary mistakes, and point out major problems but allow students to revise their work. And then the last one is ask questions that help students clarify their meaning. So the main purpose of assessment in this stage is to guidance and improvement, not strict correction. And now we come to the next slide, assessing later stages of the process of composing. So, at this stage, students are already working on revising and improving their final draft. Therefore, the teacher focuses more on accuracy and clarity. Teachers should evaluate the clarity and effectiveness of the final text. And then the teachers should check grammar, vocabulary, and mechanics more carefully. And then teachers should assess the organization of the coherence of ideas. And then the last one is provide detailed feedback to help students improve their writing. So teacher has a significant role to students to improving their writing. So unlike the early stage, the later stage focuses more on refinement and accuracy. I think that's all I can explain. Thank you so much.